Hello and welcome to another beautiful sunny day here in beautiful and sunny Nova Scotia. Welcome to my channel, The Optimistic Gardener. My name is Steve Farley. Well, today I am building some raised beds. Haven't you got enough raised beds? I hear you say. You've never got enough raised beds, is what I say. But obviously this is part of the Beginner's Guide to Growing Your Own Veg series, and last week I showed you how to make a relatively cheap raised bed out of pallets, and cedar shingles are used in that instance. But so today I'm going back to the traditional, like the rest of my raised bed garden on both sides really, and using your traditional sawn timber. Now these raised beds are made with 6 by 2 inch timber, but today, because I don't want to go and buy any more timber, I've got some 8 by 2 here, so I'm going to use a couple of these, which will make a nice deep bed again, and that's what I'm going to be using. So there's not a lot more to say other than let's get amongst it. Okay, this is the area that I'm going to be growing the raised bed for. It's not a big area, but I had some old tyres here and I was growing pumpkins in them. I don't eat pumpkins, I don't actually like them, but I was growing them for the Halloween time of year for the boy. But I've decided to put a proper raised bed here. So the raised bed's going to be 6 foot long by 2 foot wide, and the only reason that is because I've got 4 bits of 8 by 2 wood, and that'll just about make the bed. Now this is going to be a case of do what I say and not what I do. You really want to level the area out first, but this area is, well, it's the time of year. If I go like a couple of inches underneath here, it'll be frozen. So this bed's going to have a bit of a slope. I'm going to level it out with a piece under on this side, but as a rule, you want to make sure you level your area out. And if you've got a bit of a sloping area, what you want to do is, rather than building up the area that's at the lowest point, you want to take away the earth from the area at the highest point, because if you put a load of earth down, it'll end up settling more, so you'll still have a bit of a hill. So as a rule, dig out the area at the highest point, but do as I say and not as I do, because this is going to have a bit of a tilt on it, but I'm not that bothered around here. So let's go and make that bed. So I've got 4 lengths of 8 by 2 sawn wood from the hardware store. Now this is treated wood, and I'm only using this is because it's what I've got here. If you're worried about using treated wood, which I'm actually not, because I've looked into it, and the stuff that they used to put in there in the treated solutions they don't have anymore, and that was what people were worried about. If you're worried about using treated wood, then a hardwood like hemlock, etc. You can use oak, but whatever untreated hardwood you want to use will be fine. As I said, I'm using this wood. So 4 8 by 2s, 8 foot long for this bed, and the corners are going to be these 4 by 4 inch posts that I've got knocking about, and they're, because I'm going to have 2 8 inch high, these are going to be 16 inches corners high, so they'll fit nicely flush all around. So let's get cutting. So I've got 4 6-foot lengths, 4 2-foot lengths, and 4 16-inch high corners. Now obviously it depends what size bed you want. For the veg beds, for the beginners veg beds anyway, I'm using my 4 foot by 6 foot. So 4 foot's about as wide as you want it. You can have as long as you want it, but anything past 12, 16 foot, then you're starting to get a lot of earth in there and a lot of pressure on the sides. So 8 foot's a good length. 8 foot by 4 is a good length. So, but it's up to you. Obviously that particular area I've got, that's what's going to fit in there. Now, if you haven't got power tools, and you know, if you've just got a drill and a screwdriver, etc., that's fine. Get your local hardware store. Ask them if they'll saw the bits up into the cuts you want, and they'll often do that. So that's good. Or ask a neighbour. Right. Let's get on to the actual putting it together now. So what we're going to do is we're going to get one of the long lengths and the corners, so a corner each side, and we're just going to line the corners up to the edge of your piece of wood. Make sure it's flush, nice and flush. So I've made a bit of a schoolboy error here. I could fix it, but it's no problem. Instead of this being a 2x8, I forgot we're in Canada and it's actually a 2x7 1/4. So I'm going to have a gap at the bottom there, which is no big deal. Anyway, make sure your corners are all flush, nice and flush, and then we want 2 screws in each plank into the actual corner. I'm going to drill a couple of pilot holes in this top plank only, just to prevent any splitting. I'm using 3-inch screws, 2.5 inch will be good, and I'll do the job just the same. And these are deck screws, as usual. Change my battery pack. Same with the other side. Now just same with the next plank. There we are. That's one side done. Nice and deep that's going to be. You should be able to grow all your different types of veg in a bed 16 inches high. Right, let's do the other side. There we go, 2 sides done. Beautiful. I was supposed to be doing this with my son Ethan, but the young diva has retired to his dressing room, apparently tired of the endless filming. So I'm not going to put it together here, I'm going to put it together in situ. So let's move over to where it's going to be put together and do the final bits. So here we are, back in position. See, I've just got it roughly scragged in there. We've just got the ends to do now. Now I've already pre-drilled the holes, and I've pre-drilled the holes 8 centimetres. What is 8 centimetres? Just about 3 inches in from the end, because we want to make sure that we're screwing into here rather than these end bits. So that's about, the middle there is about 8 centimetres. Best way to do it, flip this on its back. Then, now we can use this. Just go there, line them up. Obviously if you're on a nice flat surface it's easier. That's good. I'm going to carry on and do the other end, and then we'll see how we connect this bit. So, got the 2 sides on, now we've just got to connect this last end, each side, to the side. There we go. Square this up. That's about where it should be. Nice and sturdy. It's easy as that. Really is a very easy thing to do. Just need a drill, screwdriver. If you haven't got a saw, get someone else to do it. But yeah, pretty simple. So, what do we want to do now? We've got the bed in position. You can lay it over grass, you can lay it over concrete even, because you've got a good 16 inches worth here. But if we're laying it over soil or anything, we want to put something in the bottom. So, got some cardboard here. Get the cardboard in, that'll prevent any weeds coming up. And then after that, give it a again, that's quite a bit of earth to go in there, especially if you've got a big bed. Branches, leaves, all that sort of stuff in the bottom first, and then fill it with compost after that. Even put a load of kitchen scraps in the bottom if you've got them saved up, and that's it. Simple as that. Raised bed the normal way. So, job's a good one.